Welcome to the news on Zodiac. You're with me, Robert Karua. Let's have a look at the headlines this hour. Mozambican President Filipe Nyusi laments reduced trade between Malawi and Mozambique. Ombudsman facilitated meeting asks government to deal with allegations of unfair treatment in Malawi-Israel labor in 30 days. Opposition DPP insists government should immediately release a report on cause of a plane crash that killed Vice President Saulos Chilima and 8 others. In sports, TNM Super League leaders Silver Strikers drop points. We've got these and many more. Please to stick around. We start with news that the Mozambican President Filipe Nyusi has lamented reduced trade between Malawi and Mozambique despite sharing a border and enjoying friendly political and bilateral ties. Nyusi made these sentiments in Blantyre on Thursday at the opening of the 20th National Agriculture Fair at G-Trade Fair grounds. For details, here's Alex Banda.
The Mozambican President Filipe Nyusi said Malawi and his country are writing a new chapter in economic relations in areas of agriculture, tourism, transport as well as information and technology. Nyusi is however not happy that the two countries are not trading as he hoped for.
Despite the excellent friendly and political cooperation relations between our countries that we have mentioned, the level of trade is quite reduced. Malawi does not appear in the list of the top 10 trading partners of Mozambique, and the same applies to Mozambique and Malawi.
Also speaking earlier at the same event, President of the Malawi Confederations of Chambers of Commerce and Industry, MCCI, Dr. Wise Lepidi, expressed concern over the widening trade imbalances. He said this is evidenced by the scarcity of forex and volatility of the exchange rate, which is making it difficult for Malawi to import critical commodities like fuel and fertilizer. On his part, President Lazarus Chakwera said Malawians should look for a boom in agriculture production and manufacturing with initiatives such as the Agriculture Commercialization Project, the Shire Valley Transformation Project, and the Mega Farms Initiative. He urged players to use the trade window under the African Continental Free Trade Area and export to other markets in Europe and Asia in deals he is set to broker soon.
We are going around the world signing deals to secure off-taker markets for our farmers' produce, including markets in Europe, where I just came from, markets in Asia, where I will be going next week, markets in America, where I will be going end of the month, next month, and markets in Africa, where we are signing as many deals as we can to secure these deals to take full advantage of the African Continental Free Trade Area that aims at increasing the amount of trade between African countries.
The 20th National Agriculture Fair, themed Driving Towards Export-Oriented Agriculture Through Commercialization and Innovation, has attracted 184 exhibitors, up from the 113 last year. Despite being a local event, international exhibitors from Eswatini, Kenya and Mozambique are also participating in the agriculture show, expected to end this 31st August. For Zodiac and Blantyre, this is Alex Banda.
A quadripartite meeting convened by the Ombudsman on alleged unfair treatment in the Malawi-Israel labor export deal has resolved that the Ministry of Labour should provide remedies to the concerned young people within 30 days. Ombudsman Grace Malila has confirmed the development, saying all the concerned parties, the Ministry of Labour, the youth and recruitment agencies, have reached the compromise following the meeting they held yesterday in Lilongwe. Franklin Mtambalika has more in this report. We'll bring you that report in our next bulletin. Moving on. Government says most district and local councils are being run by incompetent officers, which is negatively impacting service delivery. Deputy Minister in the Ministry of Local Government, Owen Chomanika, said at the quarterly coordination meeting for districts and local councils for the North Mzuzu Thursday that the danger is that these officers often handle work that is not even on their agenda, which is unfortunate for serving the people. Moving on, Ministry of Education says environmental education among primary school learners is key in finding solutions to climate change. Secretary for Education Associate Professor Nkhani Katundu said this in Lilongwe at the launch of Wildlife and Environmental Education Sourcebook in Lilongwe. Dr. Chilala Katundu said the book intends to support teachers in impacting environmental education knowledge among learners. He explains.
I was very excited when one of the secondary school students narrated a poem about the challenges that came about with Cyclone Freddy. Apart from just the challenges of the climate change that happen in nature, they also affect us. Settling in places that are not safe for us to settle in environments that are fragile, like the Sochi Hill. All these issues will help in ensuring that we are responsible. They were talking about oil, speeding of oils in rivers. They were talking about making sure that we do not excessively use fossil fuels. They were also talking about the problems of charcoal use, but they were not just talking about the challenges. They were also talking about alternatives. They showed us briquette making. They talked about other forms of energy that are environmental.
Meanwhile, Director of Programs at Lero Wildlife Trust, which has developed the sourcebook, Dorothy Tembo Hema, says the sourcebook will fill the information gap in environmental education. She explains.
We've launched the sourcebook on wildlife and environmental education for primary schools. It is a sourcebook or a reference material for teachers to develop their lesson plans as they're teaching, but as well as the learners to be reading through the books themselves. What prompted us to come up with the sourcebook was that we had been implementing environmental education across the country, but realized that that's not a sustainable way to deliver lessons or to reach out to the general masses, as it required a lot of resources. So when we looked at the curriculum, we realized that the curriculum is a little lean in terms of environmental education and wildlife. And indeed, when we engaged the Ministry of Education through MIE, Malawi Institute of Education, and the DQAS, Directorate of Quality Assurance Service, they had agreed that indeed the primary school curriculum is limited in terms of wildlife and environmental education.
Department of Disaster Management Dodma has lamented that corrupt practices in disaster management services is one major problem. The whole purpose of humanitarian aid. Commissioner for Dodma Charles Kalemba said this in Lilongwe today during a training of cancers and disaster risk management committees, where he said the tendency leaves out deserving people suffering. One of the members of the committees from Karieka, Agatha Chitengu, says the training will help her properly execute her duty, which she said is not due to lack of necessary knowledge. We have more in this report.
Commissioner for Dodma Charles Kalemba says experience has it that the department has mistargeted beneficiaries of different forms of aid, as the deserving have not been registered and able ones benefiting. Kalemba says the department wants vulnerable people benefiting and has since appealed for leaders to avoid corruption, through which registration is done unfairly for those deserving.
There are issues of degree security and theft. So I've brought all people who are stakeholders in. The key message is that we want beneficiaries to be those that are vulnerable. We have had situations where you find people who are well-to-do have received relief items.
Lilongwe City Council Chief Executive Officer MacLeod Kadamanja says officials need to be well prepared with knowledge enough to fend off corruption, temptations and other challenges.
You will recall that previously we used to have so many challenges, but with the constant orientations, trainings, support from various quarters, we've been able to at least alert the people on the systems and how we are supposed to manage the issues to disaster risk.
One of the members of the committees from Kalieka, Agatha Chitengu, says disaster risk management committees have not done well previously as a result of lack of knowledge. According to the commissioner, as the department moves towards the lean season, 70% of $240 million needed for this year's season has been collected and would like that to be used purposefully. I'm Western Guta in Lilongwe.
Let's look at how the Malawi kwacha is faring against major currencies in the world, according to the Reserve Bank of Malawi. That's how the Malawi kwacha is faring against major currencies of the world, according to the Reserve Bank of Malawi. You're watching the news on Zodiac with me, Robert Kalwa. We'll be back with more soon after this.
Nkhani Education Facility wishes to inform the general public that registration for Term 1 of 2024-2025 academic year is in progress. Places are available from Nursery 1 to Primary 7 and Form 1 to Form 4 in the following campuses: Nkhani Education Facility Primary and Secondary School, Mzuzu Campus, call 0991-453-312. John Derby Primary in Karonga, call 0995-027-330. Silver Heights Primary at Ikwendeni, call 0883-352-509. Ezulini Primary in Mzimba, call 0998-872-800. And Think Big Primary in Kasungu, call 0884-368-242. First term of 2024-2025 academic year opens on 16 September 2024. Nkhani schools are the best centers of excellence in Malawi. We prepare a child in all areas: intellectually, spiritually, morally, and physically. The school has 100% pass rate, the state-of-the-art classrooms, well-equipped laboratories, and library facilities. Nkhani Education Facility. Play, explore, discover, and know the world.
Welcome back. The headlines as we continue. The Progressive Party has insisted that government should immediately release the report on the findings of investigations into the cause of the plane crash that killed Vice President Saulos Chilima and 8 others in June. The DPP has made the statement despite German investigators who carried out the exercise telling us earlier this week that the report has not been completed. Initially, they said it would be released on August 30. However, DPP spokesperson Shadrack Namalomba says Malawians are curious to know what caused the plane crash and fought Chakwera for withholding information after Germany's DW-TV claimed it was submitted to the president. Namalomba explains. We'll bring you that interview in our next bulletin. With the year to the 2025 tripartite elections, political parties in the country have signed a code of conduct to ensure gender responsiveness in political processes. The code of conduct provides guidelines for political parties to follow when holding primaries, conventions, and campaigns, as well as how to handle violence against women in elections, intimidation, and anti-hate speech measures. And in sports, Silver Strikers have dropped 2 points following a 1-0 draw away against Chitipa United. Chitipa went ahead in the 25th minute through a Ramadan Mtafu penalty. In the second half, the Bankers pulled level through a Charles Chipala header in the 51st minute, and the game ended 1-0 despite both teams creating several opportunities towards the end of the match. In the other match, Mighty Mkulu Wanderers have cut the gap with the league toppers Silver to just 6 points from 8. The Nomads secure a 1-0 victory over Kamuzu Barracks in Lilongwe. But the Bankers have a game in hand. Silver is on 44 points from 18 games, while Wanderers are on 38 points from 19 games. And Football Association of Malawi says it is ready to host the 2024 FDH Bank Cup at the Bingu Stadium in Lilongwe, featuring lower division side Blue Eagles and defending champions FCB Nyasa Big Bullets this Sunday. Farm Commission Marketing Manager Tulipo Mwenelupembe told us that the FA has already rolled out a pre-sale of tickets to properly manage the game, apart from ramping up security measures ahead of the final match. The champions of the FDH Bank Cup will walk away with 35 million kwacha. And that's about what we had time for in this edition of news. Before we leave you, a recap of the for more. My name is Robert Karua. Thanks for watching.